Big up everyone. So hopefully you guys can hear me. This is your Japan versus Brazil preview. I'm gonna go my thoughts. Gonna go on my things about um about the game itself. So big up everyone. I hope you're doing well. Hold on, let me check this. All right. So yeah. All right. So we are gonna be taking on. Let me try to load this up. So yeah, after hold on, I know it's taking slow. So yeah, we are taking on Japan. This is a as I'm gonna say it. This is okay. Technically, not really, but it's a friendly. But at least show me a good performance, especially as we head into the. Sorry about that, guys. My internet is just going slow as I'm recording this. Ah, so annoying. I'm right by the internet and yet it's still slow for me. Yeah, it's just that annoying. Hold on. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that, guys, but my internet is just going slow. So, yeah, after we demolished Korea 5-0 on Friday, we will be taking on their neighbors, Japan, basically. We all know the history between Brazil and Japan is pretty it's kind of huge, honestly. Honestly, Japan kind of does bring luck, and yes, and there's a lots of history between the two countries. So yeah, we will be playing at their ground in Tokyo, I believe, in the Ahmad Stadium. I'm assuming. So the game is at 3:30 a.m. my time, which over there in Japan, I'm assuming that's a 9:30 p.m. kickoff or something, or 8:30 p.m. I could be wrong. Oh, it's in Chufu, Japan, which is probably a suburb of Tokyo. So this is where we're going to be playing, as the Brazil national team is right here. Yup, including all of our guys. I'll show you the lineups as Devin Global will show. Hold on. Yeah, my internet is just going slow. It's just really annoying. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is in Tokyo. We're around there. We're rather close over. Fair enough. So I think this okay. Fair enough. It is. So yeah, that's where we're gonna be taking on Japan, and we're gonna talk about their squad. We're gonna talk about our performances. So yeah, home to FC like Tokyo, I think, like it says Tokyo Red. So home to like three Japanese teams from the league. So yeah, we will be taking them on over there. And so yeah, this game is at 3:30 a.m. Um, it's got 3:30 in the morning. So yeah, let me talk about Brazil, Japan. So I don't think so. Yeah, So let's check the lineup. So yeah, because for some reason the global so yeah, so after we won like 5-0 convincingly against Korea, which we absolutely dominated, and like I said, I know Son Heung-min was called up for South Korea, and he got hooked in 63, 69 minutes and did absolutely nothing. Did absolutely nothing. So like, but I do expect Japan to give us a better game. So yeah, and you know what, and let's talk about Japan because you know what, let's check our opponents. So yeah, so yeah, they they play us tomorrow. They obviously we all know Japan are supposed to be based on form with the best squad, the best talent they have, the best players they have, and we better start as well watching this. Even as yep, we're gonna get into it. So yes, especially Japan, they came back they came back. They got a late equalizer to manage to tie against Paraguay in their 2-2 draw. And Paraguay are a great team that just qualified for the World Cup for us. They were the better team, but the Paraguay were just clinical. so but here's the thing: Japan, like they play in the 3-4-2-1. Their manager's name is Moriyasu, basically. And Japan, I'm gonna talk about them. I was last month in the last window. I went to the Mexico Japan game, and I'm gonna tell you all about it in just a second. It says it all. So Japan, they failed to score neither against Mexico, and they put on a BC team against the USA, and making them lose 2-0 and not show up after all. So yeah, so Japan, like they tied Australia, for example, in the month of October, where two of their goals were not even from open play; they were own goals. Australia didn't even got a shot on target; they were getting outplayed. They managed to get away for 1-1 draw. This game should have ended 0-0. So Japan, like they are a great team, but they do struggle for a little bit. Japan, but here's the thing about Japan. Unfortunately, for some reason, they do struggle against big, really good oppositions, and like when it really mattered, really is not. Yeah. So besides their game against Australia, which they kind of had a result here and there, the last time we played Japan was all the way back in 2022, and yeah, Japan they just been doing World Cup qualifiers as expected to do their job. They trashed China. They beat Saudi Arabia, battered other teams. The only team they showed was against Australia. I don't think they played South Korea in their group. As supposed to be the best team on paper. They battered Germany again and Canada 4-1 here and there. But here's the thing: the famous World Cup upsets. So Japan were in Group E, so kind of like a group of death, basically, with Germany, Japan itself, with Germany, Spain, two of the best world teams. And I'm not trying to be off topic, and Costa Rica. So Japan, they beat Germany 2-1. They beat Hansi Flick's Germany, who was still not the charge before going to Barcelona, obviously. So this game was nearly 3 years ago already. I'm surprised. It's been nearly 3 years since this matchup. And Japan came back from 1-0 down and won the whole game. And then Costa Rica upset Japan 1-0. Our CONCACAF brothers, they absolutely got the job done against Japan, and like they kind of got outplayed. I think in Japan, Costa Rica had one shot on target, and they were clinical and winning the game 1-0 despite not being the better team. Sorry. So yes, we're in 2025. So yeah. But here's the thing. This is the matchup that I'm talking about. This is where the famous comeback against Spain, against Luis Enrique's Spain. And yes, Luis Enrique was coaching Spain before he went to PSG. And funny enough, Hansi Flick and Luis Enrique just met a few weeks ago in the Champions League, which we all know PSG got the 2-1 win against Barcelona without their front three. And I know this is getting off topic, but it makes sense. It kind of connects, but I don't want to be too off topic. But yeah, Japan, they defeated both Hansi Flick and Luis Enrique. And Luis Enrique, he did got fired for Spain, obviously. In around, yeah, ahorita, in around 16 for Spain. Um, against Morocco. So yeah, Spain had the better chances, but Japan were more clinical. They came back. I couldn't believe this. I was at school and I can't believe they came back. And this was December 1st. This was before the knockout rounds, and I couldn't believe Alvaro Morata scored, and then in like 3 minutes, and they came back and won the whole game, and I was like shocked. No way. I know they're. And listen, they didn't even use most of the possession. Spain had it. Oh, and like that was shocking for Luis Enrique. And then let's talk about the game. Ahorita. Sorry about that. Why is it not pulling this back? So yeah, this is so this was the game that I'm talking about. The game against Ecuador. Basically they lost on pens. Japan managed to score before halftime. Croatia, and they went all the way pens, Luka Modric, and they got knocked out. And I know this annoys me because we too played Croatia in the quarterfinals after we battered South Korea. So we basically, both of us, canceled the South Korea Japan quarterfinal matchup. We both, and then just to face off each other, and then yet we got knocked out by Croatia on penalties. Absolutely gutted, annoyed about that because we got knocked. We were leading 1-0. Neymar scoring in extra time before we freaking let them equalize and capitulate. Espérate. But yeah, it's so annoying that really had to happen. So yeah, we played Croatia, and I'm really disappointed we couldn't meet our biggest rivals, Argentina, who won the whole thing anyways. It's really annoying canceling, but Croatia and us, we canceled the South Korea Japan quarterfinals just to cancel the South American Classico between us and Argentina. But yeah, they made it to round 16, and then I know this preview is kind of a bit long, so let's see. And then I want to go to the recent Asia Cup. So yeah, they were expected to top the group. They lost to Iraq somehow. They beat Indonesia, but they were not as good. They won the round 16, but they lost to Iran to the quarterfinals, which was shocking. And I know Moriyasu were. And look, they had everyone for the Asia Cup back in February of last year because January and February were the Asia Cup. Look, this was Japan's lineup. They had Kubo, they had everyone, and it proves that Japan, for some reason, they struggle when these games really matter. They struggle, and boom, they got booted out in the quarterfinals. Iran, they deserve to be in the semis. And I think Qatar somehow knocked them out in the semis. And then Jordan knocked out South Korea, and we had a Qatar Jordan final. And guess who won Qatar for some reason? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it's rigged, but it's like how when they got grouped in their own home. By the way, so yeah, I have no idea why Japan fumbles in big games, and you know what? I want to take advantage. So the last time we played Japan was back in 2022. So we got a couple changes to our squad since then. We played them in a friendly back in June We won there 1-0. A Neymar penalty we got. Penalty Neymar takes it well. I didn't watch this game, so yeah, back then when we had I think Diti who was coaching for Brazil, we were going to go with a 4-2-4 for on top Lucas back there. We had Rafinha, Vinicius Jr. behind them, Casemiro, that midfield pivot basically in that that we let down Marquinhos, David Alves was still there, Alisson. So not a lot of changes, honestly. We still have Thiago Silva before he retires entirely. Gabriel Jesus, even though he's injured right now. Coutinho before he retires. Mateus Cunha was on the bench, funny enough, in that game. And he was at Atletico Madrid or before he joined Wolves. And then eventually joined Manchester United, as we all know today. So yeah, in Japan, they have changed. They probably don't have some of these guys. I know they have Endo, who's now at Liverpool, no longer at Frankfurt, I think. Here, Montemo wasn't starting, or at least he did come out as well. Oh yeah, so they were all the bench. So yeah, we expect to play. So Murray Yasobal. So yeah. But let's talk about Japan. So yeah. so yeah. So yeah. So let's talk about Japan. Oh yeah, the East Asian Cup thing, like I mentioned earlier, like we did against South Korea. I think this is like a B team tournament or something. That wasn't including the full A guys. Wait, was it? So they play South Korea in the final round. I don't know if this was the B team or just some random guys. Yeah, I think this is another competition because the most best players were resting. I think this is different football and like all that. So yeah, but I wanted to talk about. So yeah, so I expect Moriyasu to something similar in their lineup against Paraguay, unless he changes. Like I forgot what formation. I mean, I should be watching more Japan, but like the problem is, I hardly get access to these games. And I went to, and yes, we're gonna go to Mexico in just a bit. Went to 3-4-2-1, and then against the U.S. where he had rotate because he didn't want to use the full A team as he lets the U.S. beat Japan. And even though the U.S. is mostly A team versus Japan's B to C team at this point. So he rested every single one after using all the games against Mexico. So he went with a 3-4-2-1 as well. But I also want to mention this. This is a game I want to talk about. Mexico, no. Japan, no. I went to the game in Oakland because I'm from the Bay. And this is a game I went into in Oakland, and I could tell you this game was kind of dreadful, honestly. I went to the game because, of course, Mexico is kind of my second national team, and like this is a game I went to Oakland, California. So yeah, Mexico had 8 shots, and Japan had 9 shots. Japan had 1 shot on top. 2 shots on target. Mexico had 1. This game was kind of dreadful, honestly, and I was a bit disappointed because of draw. I know Mexico does well against Asian opposition, and then Mexico right now, they just lost 4-0 to Colombia, just on Saturday, which Mexico and things haven't been looking good against CONMEBOL opposition. And I know we're not here to talk about Mexico, but it says it all. And I was gutted that they absolutely played bad against Colombia. Colombia, they're just doing their thing. Colombia, I think they're back after having a poor start to their year. And like I know we're not here to talk about Colombia, but Mexico, they got absolutely battered against Colombia. They got 2-2 draw against Korea, like I mentioned earlier. And we're gonna play my clip in just a bit. So yeah, this game was dreadful, bro. Mexico, Javier Aguirre, the manager, they went even though we're not playing Mexico, just showing they went Javier Aguirre went 4-2-3-1, 3-2. So yeah, So yeah, Montes got the end. Red card then. Raul Jimenez was there. The creativity, Edson Alvarez. And I know Edson Alvarez, Raul Jimenez is out for Mexico. And Humberto Mota was also out because he was just resting for the U20 World Cup. Who's Mexico's out, by the way. And Japan's U20s are out, I think, as well. And we got grouped with the group of death with Mexico and Spain and Morocco. And I'm real disappointed. Japan, Bolivia, be up next after that's the next game. But like, yeah. So, any last thoughts before? So yeah, I don't know if I will play the video. I'll try to link it in the description to watch my Mexico 0-0 Japan. But I will say this: yeah, Japan were not that great. Neither is Mexico. As that year was pretty good. So, but it was just like it was kind of dreadful, honestly. Especially some weird passes here and there, not like sustainable passes, and and I know. Well, I mean, the fan chants made me kind of entertained a little bit. I mean, I wasn't too bored. I mean, by standards, it is. For me, the fan chants just made me not fall asleep or bored at all. Actually, but it's like Japan, for some reason, when they struggle against good defensively, even though Mexico are supposed to be a good defensive team, it's just Japan were not putting a lot of pressure, and this was dreadful. And then, like, I know they limited, but it's like, yeah. But any final thoughts? So the players that we should be worried is like we all know their front three. We all know normally it's supposed to be and from Real Sociedad and Tomo from Brighton, but they haven't done much either for their clubs either. So and don't forget about this Uda Dated, the Feyenoord striker who replaces Santi Jimenez, who were teammates with Santi. Gotta be worried about him. And as well this guy here. And hopefully that can manage to handle him, because if we could handle that against South Korea, who's supposed to be a much better offensive team at this point than Japan, even though they conceded 5 against us and did absolutely nothing, then yeah, we should be winning here, honestly. So yeah. So yeah, I gotta worry about this guy as well. Hold on, why is it not loading? Man, this guy here, for some reason it's not letting me. I forgot. Yeah, I got. So yeah, as long. So yeah. So funny enough, we're going to have a Suzuki who looks like Hugo Soares, even though he's born in New Jersey. His mom is Japanese, and his father is like Ghana or something, or Cameroon, who's currently the main keeper as he's the number one at Parma in Italy, in Serie A. So yeah, he was born born in Newark, so yeah, he's American Japanese basically. So yeah, so Suzuki versus Hugo Soares, who looks like who basically looks like him, who basically looks like him, but as Brazilian, and he plays for Corinthians. And now apparently he's going to be getting started against him. But a reminder to the viewers, before I show this, we have a huge history in Japan. Let me try to pull up the tweets. We won the World Cup in 2002 over there. That was our last World Cup, as we made it 5-0 as to be the biggest nation in the world. Let me try to pull this up. We won 5-0. I mean, we won our 5th World Cup, right? And after we won our 5th World Cup, We absolutely demolish. Uh-huh. No, I'm trying to share my screen. Mhm. Yeah, that's my laundry. So yeah, there's a screen. So yeah, we won the World Cup, and funny enough, Corinthians they won the Club World Cup, the old Club World Cup against Chelsea in Japan as well in 2011. 2011 or 2012? Yeah, 2012 actually. You're right. In December, and that was basically the best day. So a reminder. Yep, Ronaldo holding the World Cup. Yeah, show them best national team to ever exist. In our 2-0 win against Germany at the Yokohama Stadium, basically. And funny enough, Brazil, for some reason, we have the most Japanese diaspora in the world. For some reason, we might actually have more Japanese than Japan, as basically outside of Japan, with nearly 2 million people, or 2 million people. That's how big Japan is in Brazil, honestly, and we have a good history. Don't forget about Corinthians lifting the Club World Cup against Chelsea. So yeah, big up to Japan, honestly. As the land of animes and so on. But this is what the Globals line up. So we expect Casemiro to be captain, Vinny on top. It looks like, and Cunha right behind him. Esteval on the right wing. Rodrigo, Griezmann, Douglas. I thought this lineup has been okay. I'm okay. I agree. I agree what these people are saying on Twitter. You could say could just like go a little bit. So trying to find his court, absolutely, absolutely. I agree. I prefer. I agree what he said. Yeah. Once Marquinhos come back, yeah, I prefer like leaving him on the bench when he returns. That's crazy. Fullbacks are like weak, but are going forward. And like, yeah, I want to see what else we could do. Like, honestly, like, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we take on Bruno Guimaraes. So yes, got. So yeah, this is the lineup. I think Coutinho Douglas should handle the Japanese attack man and Gabriel locking them up. That's simple. Best center back. So yeah, I'll take this. I'll take this lineup from Carlo. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with the lineup. So yeah, so before I end this video, two things: smash the like, subscribe to the channel. This was a long preview. I'm just trying to get this out. So yeah, we might try to come back with a watch along. Let me try and schedule it. If not, if not, um, if not, I will do a match review again. If the game is 3:30 in the morning, so I'll have to go bed early tonight. So, anyways, I'm gonna enjoy chatting